Hey family, welcome back to the channel, Celebrity Scandalous. And right before we jump into this, let's play a quick intro. Hey y'all, welcome back to another video with laughs, gags, and gossip. Now let's get into the mess. Hey family, welcome back to the channel, Celebrity Scandalous. So I just want to jump into this story. Everybody's talking about the video that was just released by CNN with P. Diddy actually, we got to be so careful how we say stuff, but with him attacking Cassie in the hotel lobby. I mean, it's irrefutable. You see the evidence, you see the video. It's like there's no denying. Now, I mean, Diddy has these allegations pending, but we're just going to jump into right before we get started. Let's jump into the video one more time. I'm just going to show it, and then we're going to talk about this woman who is claiming to be a friend of Kim, and she's kind of coming for Cassie. She's saying that she believes everything that Cassie said, but she's kind of coming for Cassie. I'm neutral on this. I'm just bringing you the information. But let's look at the video. 1 second. Let me take this off. You guys know my hands are a little slow on this because I don't do this all the time. So this is the Twitter page of the woman who's claiming, making allegations about Cassie. But let's look at the other video first. And please, somebody, if you could let me know if you can hear me. So again, right now, what we're seeing is the video of Diddy chasing Cassie down the hall, snatching her. And I mean, just putting his feet on her like you would at a football game. I mean, you don't even get that brutal in sports or anything. So we saw that, so we know that, I mean, some people are going to say it's AI. He's innocent. They're just trying to go at a black man. But nah, bro, you did that. But anyway, let's look at this. Hold on. Okay. 1 second, you guys. So can you guys hear me? Can somebody just put in the chat if you can hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Redbone. So let me see if I can make this bigger for you. Now, this is kind of interesting because there's somebody online. Her name is writer Kola Boof. I've never heard of this woman before. I did try to get the screen captures because you know how when stuff starts going viral on Twitter, people start deleting posts, cease and desist start, being tossed out, and then people start taking stuff down. So this woman, about an hour ago, after all of these, the video was released by CNN. This lady, her name is writer Kola Boof. This is her Twitter account. She says, this Diddy thing is not a surprise, but it makes me remember the horrible way he treated my friend. Now, these are her allegations. I cannot corroborate or say that this is true, but this is, we're going to go with what she's saying. So she's alleging to be a friend of Kim Porter. She is a writer as well. So it says, Kim Porter, and how I've always silently held him responsible for her young death. For those of you that don't know, one of my favorite YouTube channels is called Paperwork Party, and it might be called Paper Clip Party now, but Paperwork Party has been staying on top of this case. And he's actually, him and his crew, they have actually contacted the coroner's office. They have several videos about it. Go to their YouTube page, and they have a petition to get the Kim Porter's death case open again, to have them look at it a second time, because a lot of people believe it's foul play. A lot of people believe it's foul play. If you kind of read the autopsy, and, just different people have gone down the list of discrepancies. It just seems very weird. But anyway, So that case is they're trying to get it reopened, okay? But this woman here is saying she's always silently held him responsible for her young death. And then she has the RIP, Kim Porter. And then she says Diddy was a MF. Y'all would not even be, let me make sure you guys can see. Can y'all see the stuff that I'm reading? Okay. I want to make this bigger. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Let me see if that makes it bigger for you guys. It's not much better, but it's a little bit better. And you can always try to enlarge it. So, okay, hopefully that's better. Okay. So she says, y'all would not even begin to believe the way he treated Kim Porter. And ironically, Cassie back then allowed herself to be used to disrespect Kim in her own home. These are shocking allegations. Again, for those of you who are watching, no victim blaming here, and Cassie was young at the time. But if this is true, I mean, it's even more heartbreaking if Diddy used Cassie against Kim. The way both of these women were treated allegedly is horrible. But she says, y'all would not even begin to believe the way he treated Kim Porter. And ironically, Cassie back then allowed herself to be used to disrespect Kim in her own home. Cassie let herself be flaunted in Kim's face, laughed at Diddy, and she says, hitting Kim. And, it's just so many words you aren't supposed to say on YouTube, but you guys could see. And then I'm clicking on more, and it says it was awful. Let me check the chat and see what you guys are saying. Hey, beautiful people, Lula. Hey, thank you guys for all being here. Mila Day Young, Redbone, Kara Francis. So basically, she's saying that Cassie, and y'all know as women sometimes when you are the new chick, because I remember when people were talking about, they said that Kim Porter, before she passed, that she had given Cassie some videotapes and some of her journaling, some stuff, and that she had given it to Cassie for safekeeping. And I was following this case back in, I believe, 2020, when it kind of first happened, and doing, reporting on Gene Deal. I've had to delete some videos, so a lot of the old stuff is not up, but I still have it in my archives. But back then, anybody who followed the story knew that Cassie and Kim Porter were not friends. Kim Porter's friends had even come forward and said, that's a lie. I mean, they may have tolerated each other. They were around each other, but Cassie was not Kim Porter's confidant. So I never believed that when people said, oh, she gave it to Cassie. That's crazy. If she was in fear of anything, and I'm not saying that she wasn't, but I believe that Kimora would have been the person that she would have given it to. Kimora was said to be her best friend. Why would she give it to Cassie? So I'm not saying that what this woman is saying is true either, but yeah, I never believed that Cassie and Kim Porter had the best relationship, because if you really go back and you read their history, yeah, Cassie kind of came, even though Diddy and Kim Porter had broken up. By the time he was with Cassie, he was still having some involvement with Kim, right? So I don't believe that they were ever like really good friends. And so she goes on to say, what y'all saw in that video of Diddy beating Cassie was nothing. We'll never forget the time he tried to make Kim Porter lick Cassie's. Y'all read it for yourself. TAM-PON. I mean, this is some wild stuff now. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this woman is really a friend of Kim Porter. But if this is, We'll never forget the time he tried to make Kim Porter lick Cassie's, always using Kim's race as a put down. I believe that because I believe that Diddy is a colorist. I mean, he has been, he's dated Black women, but for the most part, I think he likes a plethora of races, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I can believe that he made comments about her color. We can even see the way that he dotes on Quincy, calling him a fine MF, and all of his inappropriate behaviors, because Quincy, does look a little biracial, or, a little lighter than his other children. So I really do believe that Diddy had some color issues. He was a colorist. We also know that when it comes to Lil Kim, how they just drove her to the point where she was wearing blonde hair, green eyes, and just changed herself. And I believe a lot of it has to do with the way Diddy talked to the women in his camp. So she says, you guys don't even know the half of what women go through with famous and powerful men. Let's see. Be they rappers, be they Bin Laden, they actors, you have no idea, and you'll always demonize the women always. So I guess people are kind of going back and forth in the feed with her, and she says, I didn't say Cassie brought it upon herself. You did. I'm on Cassie's side, but of course I had to tell the entire story. She started out thinking she was special and would not be treated the way that she watched him treat Kim Porter. And again, I don't know if her allegations are true, but as women and people in general, we do know often the new woman thinks that she's special or that she's going to be treated differently. So if she did actually witness Diddy's treatment of her, the only thing I will say is that at the time she was young, doesn't make it right, but she was probably very young and gullible, and Diddy, he yielded a lot of power, connections, money, gifts, and to be fair, though, in my younger years, I just always had a knowing that, I'm never going to, and I never have, what's the word? Celebrated the downfall of another woman. If I was like the new chick on the block or whatever, it's just not something that, I guess the way I was raised, my mom always taught me, you don't, side with the man against the woman, because for sure, the karma will come back to you. So I guess I've just always been wise enough to know better than that. But that's what she's alleging. And so somebody is like, how do you know if you met her once? Me and Kim talked on the telephone several times. I met her once at an event and we had dinner. I believe everything Kim Porter told me. And then it said show replies. And then they're going on about that other guy, which I don't care anything about. And then, let's see some other stuff that she says. Let me go back up. Yeah, after I saw this, I was like, now this is crazy. So I'm going back to the top to see, because she had some other things to say. Let's see. This is really sad. I'm going to go check the comments to see if you guys are saying anything. That part, and Kimura knows everything. I thought Cassie was forced into a relationship like Kim was, and thank you for pronouncing my last name right. Oh, sure. Redbone says that part, and Kimura knows everything. You believe that thing? The stuff that we're hearing about Diddy, it does make you think that is possible, because he sounds very twisted and sadistic. And if he was doing drugs and all of that stuff, the way the F-offs, the way they said that, he had Cassie doing it with men, I wouldn't be surprised. But that is a little bit beyond disgusting. Like, who even thinks of something like that? Like, really? Didn't it say even in the if I'm remembering correctly, you guys, somebody jump in the comments and let me know. Didn't she say that he defecated on her too? For some reason, I'm feeling like I remember that being a part of it, that he did that to her. I know R. Kelly did some stuff like that, but this is sick. I just went to her page, and if it's true, that is disgusting. Yeah. Glad it was on CNN. They even broadcasted it here and there. Hey, welcome from the Netherlands. Welcome, welcome. Ritual blood magic. Oh yeah, I mean I've heard, because some of my family's from Louisiana. I've heard that they will put, stuff your monthly in certain dishes to bind a man to you, but I never heard a man or anybody saying to have another woman do. That's just unsafe. It's just all disgusting. Blood play is disgusting anyway. I mean, it's not sanitary. You can catch so many germs. I mean, y'all already know all of that, but that's just like weird. And Mila says yes. I mean, so this is crazy. So let me try to go back and see, did I get everything? I'm not planning to stay on here long, you guys, but I just wanted, to look, because everybody's talking about the video, what they saw in the hall. And now another thing that I think is kind of weird is the fact that if the hotel had this footage, because this is back from 2016, I believe Cassie put in her lawsuit that Diddy paid them $50,000 to not release it, or he thought that they had destroyed it. And he must be an idiot, because anybody knows, if there's some kind of video footage and you're willing to pay $50,000 for it, and I give you the copy, do you think I'm not going to keep a copy? I mean, that's television 101, right? I mean, geez, we see that in all the movies. You never give the original, or you always retain a copy. That's common sense. Somebody gonna pay you $50,000 for some footage. You think you getting it all? No, I might need another $50K in a year or two. Crazy. So that's just crazy. So let me see. Oh, okay. So she says, when I say friend, please remember that English is my second language. I believe she's not American. And so she's saying that I guess people are, zooming in on her words and, calling, because she said friend when she's only met Kim one time. And I understand that. Friends doesn't mean besties. You could develop a relationship with, I mean, hell, people start dating online. They never met the person and be in a full-blown relationship only based on video conferencing or online or letters and notes. So I kind of get that loosely, right? And she's saying, I'm not claiming that Kim Porter and I were besties. We met once at a charity event, had dinner, we chatted by telephone over the next 2 years. We were never close, but I believe everything, and I believe she's going to say everything. Let's see, let me scroll down. Everything Kim told me about her abuse and that she worshiped Diddy. Now, the part about her worshiping Diddy, I also believe that's true, because if you've listened to Gene Deal over the years, he has said that he didn't use the word worship, but she loved him. I mean, she said it. She had children for him. They have been together, have been part of each other's lives. I mean, for decades, at least 2 decades, in the early days when he was early in his career, and I'm sure when everything was new and shiny. So, I do believe that, it was probably hard for her to leave. There was also the financial benefit. There was the fact that she had children. And women stay for a number of reasons. Remember, it wasn't until he had that baby with Sarah while she was pregnant, because remember the twins and the daughter Sarah, they're all around the same age. It wasn't until that situation that I believe she really started to try to untie herself from him. So let's see what else she's saying. So I believe those were most of her posts about Diddy. I wanted to make sure, though, that I captured it before she took it down, because I know she's going to get a lot of flack for this. People are coming at her left and right saying, you're victim blaming. Let's see. And then some people are saying Kim Porter, God rest her soul. And she's saying women do this all the time out of desperation. They want a man so badly, and they believe it'll be different from him. for them. And what she's saying here, I guess she's replying to the part about, saying that Cassie, laughed when Diddy was treating Kim Porter poorly, or when he was doing mean stuff to her. And oh, okay, so I didn't see this one. She says, "Tell you one damn thing. I will be in court to tell what happened to Kim Porter. I believe everything she told me in our phone conversations. And what you Americans think of me, get on your knees and ask God if I give a F. You might not get back up." Oh, okay. She a little feisty, huh? I guess people are arguing, going back and forth with her in the comments. Yeah, so under her thread, of course, people are discussing this, and they're talking about the video that we're all just seeing that was just released. And it's crazy that video has been out since 2016. I wonder what kind of liability, because Diddy is already under the federal investigation, but I wonder what kind of liability there would be for the hotel if they, because that's like hiding evidence, right? And then profiting on it. So I mean, if this woman wants to, if somebody can make an issue of this. I don't know what, Cassie's been paid off by Diddy, so maybe it's a moot point to her. But, if they want to pursue it and start going back to find out who got paid for this, why wasn't this turned over to the police? It's interesting because also remember in Cassie's complaint, she talks about trying to run and leave Diddy. And, the fact that every time she tried to get away, he would bring her back. He had bodyguards. I mean, we hear stories of, people's cars being blown up, that Shakir Stewart, that his connection with Diddy, that was weird, that he ended up unalived. And, because he had dated Kim Porter and had been threatened by Diddy and had been beat up as well. So, some people saying that, oh, she should have just left. I'm sure it was pretty hard for her as well, Let's see what else. So yeah, that's pretty much all that she's saying. I don't see anything else that she's saying here. Okay, here's another comment. Get it straight. I publicly accused Diddy of all of this publicly over 15 years ago. But y'all, me for being African and for being that, I don't know anything about what she's talking about there. So every time I tell you something about our lives in New York, Hollywood, and Miami, you claim I'm lying. So it sounds like she's been around before. I've never heard of this woman before. She's saying she never lied. Somebody wrote in the comments, when allegations are made against celebrities, the media often initially doubts them. People tend to rally behind the celebrities. Yeah, because they're famous, they have power, they have notoriety, visibility, connections, and may even engage in bullying the whistleblower to silence them. Absolutely. However, as time goes on, the truth starts to become more evident. Yeah, I mean, it's only so long before, these things are going to come out and people are going to start coming forward. Now, I don't think there's any more. I think it's going to be hard for people to defend Diddy. Not only did he settle with Cassie so quickly, which pretty much corroborated, in my opinion, what she was stating. And now we see video proof, video evidence of the behavior in the hotel. You got to think about it like this. If he was able to publicly chase this woman down, drag her, and stomp, I mean, this wasn't just a backhanded smack. This was a snatch on the ground, foot all up around her body. Can you imagine the ish that happened at home where he's thinking the cameras aren't catching this? I mean, he's in a public place acting like this. This man is a plumb fool. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And to see it is really sad. There was another video. I don't know. There was a video like right when she first filed her suit. that had me crying. And it was the one where she was on the floor kind of crawling. Do you guys remember that? Did anybody see that? I'm sure. Let me see. Mila saying he stole Kim from Albie Shore, right? And why was she unalived after she talked to Al about going to FBI allegedly? Exactly. I mean, yeah, he did allegedly, hold on, take her from I'll be sure. Remember, because, well, you know what? And see, here's the crazy part, because I'll be sure initially, I'm understanding that they were all kind of like business partners and stuff. And so, with Al B. Sure's celebrity status at that time, because he was handsome, he had the record out, he probably did some things to cause Kim to run to the arms of Diddy. And Diddy, he just took advantage of that situation. Al being poisoned is suspicious too. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this stuff is going to come out, and I think that's why the federal investigation is taking so long. People are just coming out saying, oh, it should be more, he should be behind bars. They want to make sure they have a solid case. They don't want anybody being able to come back, because all these technicalities, it's not very hard for somebody to have a technicality and it's thrown out, and then no double jeopardy and all of that stuff. So they want to make sure they get this guy behind bars. Hey, shout out to Great T News. Y'all, please go over and check out Great T News. He has a YouTube channel, and he's online every day, 3-4 times a day, constantly giving you guys content. And he has a challenge. I started with him on the challenge, his own challenge, where he was uploading a video. He did a 30-day challenge, and he has inspired and encouraged me to just kind of buckle down and do a 30-day challenge. So that's what I'm trying to do. I think I'm on day 4, Grape is on, I believe, maybe day 50 something of his new 60-day challenge. So shout out to him, and thank you for being here. Grape says Diddy needs his ass whooped. I know. I mean, Grape, what about that video where he had Cassie crawling on the ground? Remember when she was under the covers? That made me cry, because I'm a mother and I have a daughter. And if you can just imagine, I don't care if it's a man, but just for somebody to have you on the floor and to just kind of cry, it was so creepy. I literally cried. I did. It was just sad. Oh yes, thank you guys. Grape is saying thumbs up, hit the video, hit the like button. I appreciate that. Thank you. Kimberly Patrick is saying no, Diddy was an intern, then A&R rep. Yes, I mean, we're talking about after he became the A&R rep, and he, moved on to get his new, when he started with the new company. Al was married to Kim while Diddy was an intern. Yes. Oh, well, yeah, he was married, but at the time, we're talking about after the marriage, Diddy was an executive at the new company, and they had all started something together. I don't want to speak on it, because I could be a little bit wrong, with my timeline and how I'm getting it together. But from what I'm remembering is that, yes, Kim was married to Al. They were all in a social circle. Diddy had started, I think he had left the one company and was like a executive. I think you said a A&R. I don't know all the terms. The A&R person at the new company. And that's when he had started dating Kim. But I could be wrong. Update me if I'm wrong, girl. Lulu says, so sad. I know. Grace says, it's all love. You got this. He's on day 54. Shout out to you. Grape, you are an inspiration. You, of course, Cutie TV. Shout out to Cutie TV too. Yes, you are an inspiration, and it just has me pushing and pushing and pushing. So thank you. But anyway, y'all, I wasn't planning on being here long. The thing that really just shocked me, if these allegations are true, and of course I'm going to go back and do more due diligence and see if I can find any old information from this person, Kola Boof, is if Cassie was part of this ritual humiliation of Kim in the beginning, that would be very sad, I mean, it's very sad. And if he used her in that capacity, and then she was okay with it, not victim shaming, but kind of not cool. And some people in the threads, they're saying, well, she was young and you can't blame her. And yeah, you can be young, but some things are just wrong. And as a mother and as a woman, we just have to talk to other young ladies and talk to other women. If see this man abusing somebody, don't partake in it, especially if you're going to be this man's new woman, because baby, 9 times out of 10, it will be you next. I don't know why women have this thing. Oh, I'm prettier. It won't be me. He wouldn't do me like that. Yes, absolutely. A person's character is who it is. A leopard don't change his spots. Grape T is saying, I want to hear from Young Miami. Oh, yeah. I mean, she's been kind of distancing herself. And I'm talking about publicly in terms of making statements, but we still seeing her with Diddy. So I think she's just keeping a low profile. Who knows what he's done to her? It sounds like once you're under Diddy's grip, like he will rough you up a little bit. So can these women really leave? I remember seeing videos like maybe like before the 2019, I used to see videos about with Diddy and the baby moms. It would be Sarah, Kim Porter. I can't recall if Cassie was there, but I used to wonder, like, wow, they're going on vacations. They're like, that is so cool that his baby mamas are so cool with him and they all have this great rapport. Well, little did we know how sinister that it really was. These women were not necessarily doing it because they all got along. Diddy just had some controlling power. If you did not go along, allegedly, with whatever he told you, your rent, your mortgage wouldn't get paid, or the money would be cut off. I mean, he had a lot of ways that allegedly that he manipulated these women, and I didn't know that at the time. You just see a photo and go, wow, what a beautiful, what a beautiful setting, Mila says, I don't think she was okay with it. I don't either. I don't think so either. If you kind of look at the history, I don't believe so. He was supposed to make music for her, and then she was a hostage, sort of. Yeah, that's what we're hearing, is that Cassie, we're talking about Cassie now, though. I forget who her manager was, or I think at the time it was her boyfriend. They were dating and had a relationship, and they were making music, and then he got her to come over to his he was doing artist management or something and make her a bigger star. And of course, yeah, it turns out that she ended up being more of a concubine and in his bed than anything else. Lulu says they didn't want to be there. He helped them. Exactly. I totally believe that. I mean, they even said that, of course, these are all allegations, and unfortunately, Kim Porter is not here to speak for herself, but there were allegations that he had Kim Porter's house bugged, like when she would move places, or he would get her a home or something, he would have them install cameras, which I really believe now, because it sounds like he had cameras in all of his homes. And, these women, Kim Porter was a model, but as time went on, you're not making as much money. You're not doing as many appearances, and she was a mother. Now, the reason I even found out about Diddy's alleged abuse of Kim Porter was I was, I think when she first passed, and I was kind of new to YouTube at the time, I was watching videos, and I hadn't come across Gene Deal at the time, but I looked at her face and I was like, in her younger years, she was so beautiful. She was still very pretty, even when she passed. But it was something about her face that changed to me. I'm just one of those people, I'll go down the rabbit hole. And I noticed, I kept saying, what, something around her face looked different. And I didn't realize it was her nose, but I just kept looking, and then I think I went to Lipstick Alley and did a search about plastic surgery. Did she have plastic surgery? And that's when I stumbled upon the video of Gene Deal where he said Diddy allegedly had broken her nose. And then that's when everything was uncovered for me. So then I started going down the rabbit hole, looking at all these old videos, and found out that he broke her nose they were on a yacht, and I think within a week or two, she had the plastic surgery. And so that's how, because remember, if you're talking about 2018, 19, 20, when this first, before Diddy was all of this, stuff, this drama unfolded about him, you could not find a lot of stories about Diddy's alleged abuse to these women. There were like bits and pieces scattered, but it wasn't common knowledge. You'd have to be like a rap head or, really into pop culture to know these stories. And it wasn't, and like I said, I uncovered it on Lipstick Alley, which gave me the name Gene Deal, which is how I even found it. Again, this is way back in 2019, 2020, and that told everything. I have a video where I actually show earlier pictures of Kim Porter, gorgeous woman. But as you look, you will start to see right around her nose where the bridge of her nose seems to be flattened, and it's just different. Her face is different, and it's not that initially I thought it was just due to age, but no, it wasn't age. Just that he must have screwed up her nose, and maybe she had to have more than one surgery. But if y'all get a chance, go back and look at earlier pictures. Look when she's like in her early 20s, maybe right before 30, and then look, you'll see you'll start seeing pictures and you'll see, oh my God, her face changes. Lulu says phone tapped. Mila says, yes, Lulu, that too. Wasn't the doctor unalive too the one who supposedly... Okay, so excuse me, you guys. The thing with the doctor, with the autopsy, of course, some of this is fact and fiction, and people sensationalize the story. There are some scattered rumors around whether or not the coroner who did the autopsy, whether or not he was unalived or if he died. And none of that, I mean, that's just all kind of speculation. But it sounds like there was one autopsy that was done and then it was altered. But the problem is that when you really go down and you try to get names, and Mila, if you really want a good history, check out the Paperwork Party or Paperclip Party, it may be now. He gives a good detail of the history and the autopsies and some of this information, but it's just kind of scattered, and it's not, at this point we can't say it's fact based, right? So it's just like you'll hear some speculation, and so I've heard that though. Yes, Mila, the person, he is the coroner is deceased, but he was 70 some years old, or he was old. So we don't know if he died of old age, or, I mean, people are trying to tie it to Diddy, but I don't know. But also what we do know about that guy is that that coroner was also he did a lot of autopsies for a lot of the celebrities that died in LA. So that's some more suspicion surrounding him, like, because there were other celebrities that people think that he falsified their autopsies, but that's a whole nother story. Lulu, I think there's going to be a huge documentary about all of this. Absolutely. This documentary is going to be a surviving Diddy. It's going to be a surviving R. Kelly on steroids, right? ×2. It has to be. That's probably going to be a week's worth, y'all. We're going to have to take some PTO time off work to watch this one because it's going to be long. Kimberly Patrick says, at Mila, yes, there are many bodies trailing behind him. Okay, so some people may know more about it than I do because I've heard stuff about it, but I just don't know, how much of it is factual. I'm talking about the plastic surgeon. I don't know. Okay, Lulu, can you put that in the chat? Give us the name, because I know right now Dr. Michael Farzan, and I could be saying his name wrong. He is the doctor that was prescribing medications for Kanye West, who is also associated with Kim Porter, and his name recently came up with somebody else, and I'm drawing a blank right now. But that guy is still alive, so I'm not sure about the plastic surgeon. But I know that Diddy did have a plastic surgeon on hand with Kim Porter. And also remember how Cassie said after he made her have the breast augmentation, a day or two later, he wanted the doctor to remove them, and the doctor said no, she could, cause her some complications. She could ultimately die, and he insisted, and the man did it anyway. I think within a week. So those are mainly the only doctors that I'm familiar with. Not really the plastic surgeon yet. Um, Mila says times 1,000. Who are you telling? I mean, this is because R. Kelly was young girls trafficking and all that stuff, but this has trafficking, drugs, unaliving people, blowing up cars, you know, tapping people's phones and stuff. Diddy got a lot going on. Yes, the biggest of the documentaries. Absolutely. That's going to be a mess. Don't remember the name, but he died texting while driving on. Yeah. Okay, so you're talking about excuse me, you guys. Are you talking about the coroner or okay. It's so many characters in this Diddy stuff. It without having notes in front of me right now. Look, like I'm at work, I'm getting some of these people confused. But yes, I do remember they said somebody drove off a cliff. Now that would be kind of crazy too. I mean, some of this stuff just don't make sense. You driving and texting and driving off cliffs. Okay, sure. Yes, plastic surgeon. Okay, so the plastic surgeon drove off the cliff. The coroner who did the autopsy died allegedly of old age. Okay, thank you for Kimberly for getting those facts straight for us. Thank you. Valerie Hammond says, but when will he finally be arrested? Some of the bigger channels, they were saying that it was going to happen at some time in May. Nancy Grace had also said that it was going to be a matter of weeks because she said that she was pretty sure that there was a grand jury that had already convened and that they were going over the case. But I mean, with all this, listen, with what CNN released today, we know it's just a matter of time. Now, y'all think about this too, which is interesting. Remember just yesterday, there was an announcement, or maybe it was 2 days ago, that Lucien Green and UMG had been removed from that civil case that Little Rod had filed, remember? So after Lucien, the head, the CEO of UMG, once they're cleared, now more stuff is starting to come out because the more people disassociate themselves to him, the big wigs are like, fry him, just get my name out of it, do what you must do. That's how I feel, because it's crazy that this comes out a couple days later. You got to think this video is from 2016. They've been had this stuff. Why are you just releasing it now? And another thing, y'all think about this. Lulu says he was tweeting a picture of his dog. Oh, Lord have mercy. See, and I think, wasn't he somewhere like a windy road in LA? Like, those LA roads and all up in Beverly Hills, you got to pay attention to the roads. You can't be doing all of that. What about Jay-Z? Interesting. I was thinking if they got footage of him and, people who were close, they knew that Diddy was putting hands on people. Jay-Z and P. Diddy, they go way back, maybe 2 decades as well. Jay-Z, you weren't aware that this man was doing that? Did you just turn a blind eye? You didn't care? Like, it just makes you start looking at these friendships and affiliations really different. And, I don't know if Jay-Z is back from Japan yet, but you see, he's staying out of the limelight. He laying low. 50 said Jay is in hybrid. Total. Yes, he's like, because Jay-Z, he's just around the corner. Because remember, we were all seeing, okay, the next person up, batter, swing, it's going to be Jay-Z, right? With the whole Foxy Brown and all of this stuff. And the Ramir, the guy who's saying he's his dad, remember saying that Jay-Z is his father. And if it's true, he got that girl pregnant when she was 16. So we were all saying Jay-Z was next. Well, hell, Drake came along and just with the battle between him and Kendrick Lamar, that just changed the game for a minute. It was like, oh, well, we were looking at Jay-Z thinking something was going to happen with you. But now Drake is the new guy up to bat, right? So, I guess Jay-Z had a little bit of a reprieve. I'm sure he was really glad when this whole Kendrick and Drake, the beef came up, because it gave people time to quit talking about him. I know he appreciated that, but it's gonna come back around. But I feel like Jay-Z, it's just a matter of time. What we're seeing is that they all got something going on. And okay, y'all, I'm about to get off in 2 seconds. What about Kanye parading this woman around half nude? That pisses me off because he has her walking around in dental floss, but he be fully clothed. I don't know what the temperatures are, because I remember when they were over in Italy, but she got her walking around dang near in a bikini, see-through at that, but you got on long pants and all of this stuff, having this woman walk around barefoot, and some people are saying, well, that's what she wants to do. I don't know. I don't know if they're, drugging these women or what they're doing, but it lets us see the level of depravity and how sick these men are. Kanye, would you want somebody to do that to your daughter? You know what I'm saying? Well, don't do it to mine or my son or anybody. It's just these people that we celebrate their music, they're sick and they have the money to be able to do it. Girl, yeah, it was dang near dental floss, saran wrap. This woman, and I felt like she knew. I feel like she wasn't comfortable because there were some pictures where she actually tried to put her purse in front of her, down there, and it's like, so you already know with the paparazzi taking pictures, you're covering yourself up because you're not comfortable. Take that purse and knock him upside his mother head. I'm not walking around like this. Listen, and I mean, just the type of woman I am. If I got to do it, we both got to do it. We in this together. Whatever happened to that? Why I got to be the one walking around with the dunce cap on? Baby, let's do it together. That's what love is all about, right? No, you walk around with your you free ball walk around in public, okay? I don't get it. Eyeless walked into a place of business and they watching Diddy. Yes, Cassie on the news. This is a law office. Yep. Lulu, and just think about it. Diddy is associated with men, corporate heads, VPs, execs, billionaires. They know this stuff is going on. They know this stuff is going on and they turn a blind eye to it. Like women are trash. And the thing about it is the hotel had the footage since 2016, y'all. 2016. Kimberly says, I agree, sick. Don't idolize these people at all. Don't idolize nobody. And another thing, these people who get on here and they want to curse you out. Oh, you're a piece of, just talk back. You don't know these celebrities personally. Like, you don't know. So for people to say they would never, how the hell do you know? You don't know them. And the only person I'm windmilling for like that is the person I gave birth to. Are you crazy? Like, I'm not putting my neck on the line for nobody. I don't know what you do behind closed doors. Hell, they act like they have broke bread and drank wine with these people. Weirdos. Yes. And you know what, Mila? It's the fact that they have money, which allows them to get away with this stuff. Now, the thing with Drake, I'm going to just move to Drake a little bit. A lot of the allegations they were making about Drake, I didn't jump on and do videos about it because I do believe that people engage with animals. I believe all of this is real stuff. But the proof that they were giving us was just that it wasn't there. It fell flat to me. And if you get a story on YouTube, of course, we want clicks and views. So people will just take stuff, embellish it without it being fact-based, right? And some stuff is just, gossip. But some things you have to vet a little bit more. When you starting to say a person is sleeping with dogs, come on now. you can't just say anything just to be salacious and to have people watch. I don't mind a little lying behind somebody and a little laugh and a kiki, but at least say, hey, this is what they're saying versus, oh, he's in trouble because we know he been doing it with the dogs and then the man in the chair. Like, come on, people, stop. Let's use some grown common sense here. Lulu says exactly. Mila says, yep. The hotel has to report. I would think so, but they didn't do it. Because if you look at the video, I mean, they have that footage from various angles, right? Cassie at one point picks up the phone and she's calling. I'm sure it's probably, I don't know if it's 911 or hotel lobby staff or something. Nobody seemed to have come to her rescue. Even if they saw that footage, like, did anybody come to help her? Now, what she does say is that after, and I'm assuming this is the same incident, after it happened, where he offered to pay them money, and see, this is how much of a slug he is. He didn't even try to lie about it. He probably was on the phone in a hotel room right in front of her talking about, yeah, I know y'all saw me beating her, but I need you guys to take that down and here's some money. I mean, wasn't even trying to probably be covert about it. It's like, what could she do about it? Yeah, okay, and what? Like, they told her, you should probably get in a car and, try to go home or leave. So it sounds like people were aware of it and was trying to get her away from him, but she probably knew it was a moot point. He would have the ability to get her back. And she even says that his security would come and find her and bring her back. So it's like one of those Lifetime movies. I mean, we see this in the movies, but it's real, and that's another thing. Mila says, I know it has always been like that. Power is dangerous, right? Power affords you the money to cover up ish, right? We see this is a clear example. That videotape is damn near 10 years old. It's been dormant. And it reminds me also of the Kanika Jenkins, where that hotel footage where she was stumbling around in the hotel lobby. Many people, myself included, I believe there's some footage showing who actually was the perpetrator, but we may never know for some years until somebody decides to release what really happened. It really makes you think again. Remember that whole thing with Kanika Jenkins where they modified the footage and, she ends up here? There was probably a tape that would show exactly who crossed her section at that time, or at least the people who would have been in and about that area. So it's just sad, 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 sad. And y'all be careful in these hotels too. Just be careful in the hotels though. Because we saw Diddy was with Cassie, but it's a lot of weirdos in these hotels and the lobbies and stuff. So just be careful. Yes, they should do something about the hotel. I hope that there will be some kind of a suit or some penalties and that they'll try to figure out who took the money to cover this up. I'm hoping. Thanks, Grape Tea, for the reminder to like the video. I appreciate that. Okay, you guys. Well, I am going to log off. That's my time here. But y'all just jump in the comments, share this video. Do you guys think that Cassie was actually part of the humiliation against Kim Porter in the beginning? And if so, how do you feel about that? Some people are saying, well, she was young, not her fault. That's crazy because, like this lady said, if this is true, she became the new Kim Porter. Okay, Lulu. Thank you for calling me beautiful. I needed that lie today, girl. Anyway, you guys go on and have a beautiful rest of your Friday. Enjoy the weekend. And hey, give somebody a hug and love yourself. All right. Bye. Mila says, I do because she was so scared. Okay, Mila, I get you. But in the beginning, if you were laughing, maybe, I don't know. So you feel like he was able to bully her into participating like children, like, how you're a kid in elementary school, as long as you're not the one being picked on, is like, ha, ha, ha. Maybe. So Mila says, bye, everyone. Bye, sweetie. And okay, Grape Tea, bye.